So hi guys, we're gonna have a video from a very different place. Okay, it doesn't look different because I'm in a park again as usual, but I'm for some of you kind of abroad. Okay, for those of you who watch me from other countries than Germany, I'm like always abroad. For those of you who watch me from Germany, this time I'm half abroad, because I'm in the region where I originally come from, or where I was born this time. So that is Oberschlesien, or Upper Silesia. So it used to be Germany. Now after World War II it's not any longer. Oh my god, it's windy as usual, but you're used to it. Okay, I will try to take off my sunglasses. I hope. It's really sunny and hot, a little bit windy, so a perfect weather. So we are in a park again with a lot of butterflies, birds and so on, and some insects. So that's the topic I wanted to talk about. Like most of the times I wanted to talk about it for some time, and recently I was like re-triggered to talk about it. Today it's the Easter Sunday, so for some of you, holiday, day of Christ's resurrection. For other guys, maybe just a beautiful spring day or another holiday or festival. But actually I was going to talk about death. Yeah, it is a triggering topic. People do not like to talk about death. Most people are like scared of death, which actually surprised me when I was younger. I kind of got used to it now, but starting from my early childhood, I have never been scared of my own death. Okay, maybe we should differentiate here between our own death and someone's death. So I know that quite a few people, especially young souls or younger souls, they are scared of dying. They are scared of their own death in this life, sometimes to quite a large extent. I have never had that feeling. It's not going to be a purely spiritual video, so I'm not going to trigger your beliefs this time, or religion or spirituality, but yeah, I'm a very old soul, trust me. I'm a very old soul, and I remember much more than most people do. So yeah, I have never been scared of death, and as a child I was also surprised when other people were scared of death. The only thing that was very difficult to me, and that scared me, that really scared me or worried me, maybe I should formulate it like that. It really, sorry, it's a little bit windy. That worried me was the fact that other people will die, and it's a part of our life or reincarnation cycle. So yeah, that was the only point that was difficult to me, when I thought that people I love, I like, I somehow cherish, they're gonna die sooner or later, but it's gonna happen. But my own death, do you remember this scene from The Lion King, where Simba, as a kid, still as a young lion, he's with Nala and Zazu, and he laughs, and he says that he laughs in the face of danger. So it was like when I saw The Lion King for the first time when I was pretty young, I was like, oh, that's my soul tribe. But in my case it wasn't that. I laugh in the face of danger. However, partially it was also true. I was like, I laugh in the face of death. But such situations come, and in our everyday life, in our everyday lives, we try to forget, we try to postpone it, we try to deny it. Of course, there are some tribes like emos or goths, and generally oh my god, there's such a beautiful woodpecker. I'm terribly sorry, I know. I'm crazy, but there is woodpecker just a few meters away from me, and it's like on the ground. sorry, got distracted, but the bird is really beautiful. I love it when I sit somewhere and all those wild animals, birds and so on, they are never scared of me. You know, it's also one of the signs regarding your spirituality, your level, and your ascension. However, coming back to the topic, okay, there are some soul tribe like Children of the Dark, so generally all the Children of the Dark who talk about it and who kind of tamed this topic of death, but in our societies nowadays we try to forget it. We move death out of the public space. It's not like some centuries ago, maybe a few generations ago, when death was really part of our everyday life, and you know, in those multi-generational families who lived together, it was something natural that grandparents or great-grandparents died, and kids saw it, and it was more natural, and it was explained. Nowadays we prefer to think that we are you know, we are immortal, we are never gonna die. Our friends, our families, all those family members are never gonna die, and then when death hits, it's kind of tough, and it's sometimes shocking for some people. But yeah, it's nothing new what I'm saying now. But what I'm heading to is something completely different. Because, you know, as I said, we try to remove such thoughts from our minds, from our lives. We try to think that we are all immortal, that our friends are immortal, and even when we are completely positive regarding some people, it can be triggering, and it can be difficult when something like that happens. But what I was heading to was the fact that nowadays we also easily break contact with people, and I will elaborate on it a little bit more, because we often break contact. We do not talk to people whom we really love or whom we really like, thinking that we always have time, and if we okay, not we, some people, but okay, let's use generic we. If we block them for some time, or if we forget them, or if we are angry with them and we break the contact for a longer time, nothing bad will happen. Oh my God, there are two woodpeckers. Oh my God, I think it's male and female. Looks like that. Oh my God, they are in love. So, you know, death and love, they are always parts of our lives. Oh my God, it's so beautiful. They're amazing. Oh, probably they're gonna have eggs together. I guess so. Probably you can hear them now. Hi, baby. Yeah, no, they are really like 4 meters away from me, but I don't want to move and turn my smartphone so as not to scare them. Sorry. sorry for the off-top. But you know, it's the circle of life. This is exactly what we are talking about. So, you know, like birth, death, having kids or eggs, rebirth, and so on. Yeah, the nature. We are part of nature. We are. Oh my God! Today's videos got sponsored by the Lion King. We are all in the circle of life. So let's come back to this sad part of the circle of life. And you know, I think that quite a few generations learned about death from the Lion King when Mufasa died, and so on. So coming back to the topic, you know, we postpone the contact, we block people. I hope you can hear me now because it's really windy now. Sorry. We're gonna hear what it sounds like afterwards. So I will tell you a few personal stories where I screwed it up, when I really screwed it up with contact with some other people, and I promised myself it's not gonna happen. Okay, now there are some people behind me. I'm not gonna repeat my mistakes again, and even though I promised it to myself, I did. So, yeah, I will tell you 2 or 3 personal stories. I will start with my friend Matthew, Matt. Yeah, we met when we were still kids, young teens. Young teens. I was like, I think I was like 12. I was 11 or 12, and he was 2 years older than me. We met in there are no coincidences in the universe, so we met in funny circumstances, exactly in the city where I'm sitting now, in this region where we were like chosen to be the members of the local youth parliament or city council. Actually, it was like a youth city council, so we were representatives of our schools, and we met there, and we immediately vibed together. So we were really young, and to cut the long story short, for many years we were something between good friends and a boyfriend and a girlfriend. There were some of course I really loved him, but I couldn't also define my kind of love I had for him, or we shared. And sometimes it was really triggering and really difficult. I remember when we were teens, when some people asked us, guys, are you a couple? And we answered, both of us simultaneously, we don't know. So it was this kind of relationship that we were always there for each other. When the energy got heavier, the universe interfered, and he went for a year to the Netherlands. It was like those schools Erasmus projects and so on, and then I found another boyfriend. It was also a funny story, teenage relationships, but it was a great guy, and we are still in touch. I won't tell you who it is, but he's kind of celebrity now in the UK, or not only in the UK, but he lives in the UK. And then when after a year Matthew returned, we were just best friends, and for a longer time we were always there for each other. And at the very beginning, I was very young. It's the story that not many people heard. When I was very young, due to various circumstances and personal matters, I think I was sure that I was in love, and I decided to get married. And it was, from the human perspective, it was probably one of the worst decisions of my life. It's a kind of person you would never like to meet, and certainly you would never like to marry, and so on. Anyway, Matt was the best man of my future husband then, at our wedding ceremony. By the way, due to the fact that my husband was such a nice person that he didn't even have friends of his own, so he used like my friend. So I don't remember. I erased it from my memory. But I remember that we got married somewhere like it was early autumn or late summer, something like that. So probably around September. But I really don't remember. And he was there. We talked, and then in December we had Christmas. And at that time, Matt lived in Warsaw, so the capital city of Poland, so quite a few 100 kilometers away from me. But I thought that maybe he would like to come here for Christmas, and I wanted to talk to him, and I called him, and not even exactly during the Christmas time, at the beginning of December, because I was thinking like we could arrange something. And he told me, it was the beginning of December, he told me that he didn't feel well, he was kind of ill, he was kind of weak, and so on. Maybe later, at the time we were both students, we were studying at universities. I was in my first year. It was one year higher. So he was like, maybe we would meet in February or something like that during this winter or spring break, something like that. And I felt that something was wrong, but I was so busy working, studying, being a wife, and trying to take care of my home. I thought it was going to be my home. It wasn't, of course. So I didn't do anything, and I did not contact him during this time. And I will. It's one of the days I'm never gonna to forget. It was the 1st of March, so like three months later. One of my friends called me, Kate. I remember every single detail of that day, because I was visiting my grandparents at the time, so I had to keep also kind of a poker face while talking to her. Kate called me and told me that Matt had died. And I was like, it's impossible. How come? It's impossible that he died. He was young. He was in his 2nd year of studies, and how a person like him can die. So I was shocked. I was devastated. I was totally stressed. And visiting my grandparents, I finished that visit, that stay immediately, and I drove home like in a coma. And I decided to immediately call Matthew and tell him as a kind of an anecdote, like a joke, that I heard that you are dead. And he never answered again. Some days later, it was exactly 6 months, by the way, this day, the 1st of March, it was exactly 6 months before his birthday. And yeah, he never answered again, because he really died. It was cancer. So when he felt that bad or ill or weak in December, it was cancer, and then everything was so fast that 3 months later he wasn't there any longer. And there were so many possibilities. Okay, when I started my studies, we didn't have so many channels of communication like we do now, like social media and so on, but still there were some communicators. We could call each other, we could text each other, and so on. And I didn't do it. I postponed it till later. The later never came. And at that moment, I felt that I've lost my human guardian angel, and I was right. It would be a very long story what happened then during his funeral. I went there with my husband, and then my husband was furious that I was crying over Matt, and that I bought him beautiful flowers, red roses, like he, flowers he used to like. And then I was heavily punished, and then it turned out that my husband was a psycho. There was a lot of domestic violence, mental, physical, and so on. And I was left all alone, because Matthew was actually, at the time, he was the only person who could have saved me. So even though spiritually he was still there, here, he was not there. So that's the first story. Another story where I also thought I had time. It was regarding a person who was much older. It was our professor. I think I already mentioned him. He was the founding father of English studies and generally modern languages studies in our region. A very old guy, of course, born before World War II and so on. And for all those, and to all those who worked at our department at university, he was really our father, and he took care of us. Oh, I'm sorry, I need to stabilize the phone with my both hands. Sorry. you're gonna have a different perspective. I hope you don't mind. So our professor, we spent many years together, working, cooperating, and so on. And of course, he was getting older and older. There was some time where there were some problems at our university, and we both worked at a private university. Actually, he helped me to get that job, and it was he was one of the owners, and he used to be a rector then, and then dean, and so on, a very important person. And then there were also huge problems at that university, and you know, the old guys sold like their shares, because you know the private universities are like private companies, and there was new management and people who decided to close that university down because it had a very good location in the city center of a huge city, where you know, the management was of the opinion it was more advisable to have some offices there than a university. And it literally broke my professor's heart. And you know, I was devastated. I was thinking what was going to happen to me, because we all lost our jobs, all the researchers, teachers, professors, PhDs, and so on. Yeah, so I was so preoccupied with my own troubles and with my own life and with my own future, together with one of my best friends, colleagues and friends with whom I still keep in touch. I think I am allowed to mention her name. It's Dottie, with whom I even talked yesterday. We met. We always meet every time we can. And you know, it was summer, and in fall we were supposed to start a new semester and at another university, and so on. And I knew that my professor, he was not doing fine, he was not doing well, but I thought, okay, we can always meet you know, at the beginning of the new academic year, in fall, at the new old sorry, there was a fly, at the new old university, and then we're gonna talk, and so on. Guess what happened? Exactly the same thing. His funeral was in September. And you know, in both cases, I really loved those guys, because our professor was like a father to me. Matthew was like my, I don't know, brother, my spiritual, I don't want to say counterpart, because it wasn't like I know now, like my twin flame connection, which is of course completely different. It's another person, but you know, he was a very important person to me. And the same regarding my professor. He was like a father to me, and he helped me so many times, and I really loved him. I really loved him like my own genetic family. You know, our spiritual families are very often better families than our genetic families. And yeah, so I've never managed to tell him how much I cherished and loved him, and I just hope he knew it. And now, oh my god, this video is gonna be long, but okay, who cares? My videos are always long. The last person I'm gonna mention, or maybe not the last, but one more person I'm gonna mention, it was my grandfather. You know, my grandfather was basically the only person in my family who loved me unconditionally, who really loved me, who always loved me, who took care of me. Of course, now I learned that, you know, all those family connections, all those relationships were just like karmic lessons that were supposed to teach us something. So I understand also that whew, oh my god, sorry, another fly, this time in my eye. Oh, I'm terribly sorry. Oh my god, I think I still have it in my eye. Yeah, so I know that I was probably loved also by other people, but they were not able to show it. But from this human perspective and from this child's perspective, and just everyday life. My grandfather was the only person who took care of me, who loved me, who was always there, and so on. And he was the most important human being from this circle in my life. And when I was a kid, he often took me for some rides, you know, because the situation was, especially in our family. Oh my God, sorry, but I really have something in my eye. It's not like that I want to cry because of my grandfather. Okay, maybe I will manage. So he took me for the rides because the situation in our family was really tense. So he often decided we could escape, just the two of us. And then later, when we had a dachshund, his name was Dottie, we escaped like three of us. And then when I got older, when I was over 18, and I had my driver's license and my car, which was actually my grandfather's car, because he gave it like to me. I took the very old dog in a very old car together with a very old grandfather for a ride, and we escaped from my grandma, from the whole reality here. And he was getting older and older, and I was, as I told you also, when I was informed that Matthew had died, I was also visiting my grandparents, because for most of my life, yeah, I was the person who took care of grandparents, especially of my grandfather, but also my grandmother. First after my grandfather's death, and after some years, I switched roles with my father, who finally had to take this role over. You know, as I told you, there are no coincidences in the universe. So at the beginning, he was really dissatisfied and overwhelmed, and I guess angry with me. But then he also understood that it was a very important lesson he was supposed to learn, and he learned it. And he really did learn it, and it's another story. I will make a video what my grandparents taught me, and not only me. Anyway, my grandfather, yeah, no, he survived World War II, and in our region it was especially difficult. You know, we were Silesian, so my family was Silesian, so it was like German. It's a very complicated story if you're not from this part of the world, but you know, there were also some Jewish ghettos here, people of different origins, of more German origins than any others, and so on, but still they were killed by Nazis. So part of my family, my grandfather's mother, she was unfortunately taken to Auschwitz, and she was killed there. And not only she, also a few other people. So we have a very complicated family history and regional history. And you know, I am Silesian, German Silesian, but yeah, it triggers a lot of people. So let's leave it here. Anyway, my grandfather was a very old person, and a very ill person with a lot of illnesses, problems with his heart, some kind of cardiovascular system, and so on and so forth. So it was not easy. And when he was really old, he was frequently at hospital. Frequently at hospital, and it was another infection, I think it was something. I'm not sure any longer. Oh my God, I kind of erased it. I think it was connected to pneumonia or something like that. And he was at hospital, and I was at work, as usually overworked, because I had to earn money not only for myself but for some other people. And so of course I had been divorced for a long time at the time, but there were other issues. I was always the person who was an overgiver and who took care of everyone around, and usually like in the direction my parents, grandparents, and other people. So I was totally overworked. And it was Friday, and I was a university teacher, of course, at the time. And after classes that were slightly shorter, I decided first to go shopping. And you know, all that week I had been texting with my grandma, promising her to come to the hospital, but I was so overworked and had so many duties that I didn't do it. And I told her I was going quickly shopping. Not even to the mall, like to the supermarket. It was like a grocery shopping. I wanted to buy also a few things for my grandfather. You know, something like, I know, orange juice, something to eat, because the diet at hospital was disputable. And when I was in the parking lot in front of that supermarket, my grandma called me. Yes, exactly. I thought that I still had time because it wasn't his first infection. It was, like winter. Of course, my grandfather was over 90 because my father was a late child. I was a late grandchild, and generally speaking, as I like to highlight, I'm not that young any longer. Of course, it was some years ago. Sorry. So, what I was basically heading to, what I wanted to tell you, don't postpone communication with people. I could tell you more stories like that. Really, at those moments, I promised myself I won't be postponing communication. And of course, I did. I did a few times. Now I'm trying to get control of it. I kind of even set up some additional WhatsApp chats or groups or Messenger chats or groups with my friends where I ask them to communicate within our group, at least with some short updates. Most of us are really overworked and we have so many duties, and it's really difficult to communicate. But still at least short updates. And even though it's pretty difficult when you have your home in one country, in one region, with a group of people whom you love and who you want to see and who you want to meet, and then you have another group of people in another country, people you also would like to see and hear frequently, and you have 3 jobs like I do and so many things to do. It's not easy. But even if you feel some kind of a resentment or sadness or sorrow or anger, if it's not something that really should break your communication forever, but these are people whom you love or whom you like, don't break that communication. Don't do it. Just don't do it. What I also wanted to say, what triggers also me personally, is blocking people. Of course, I also have some people whom I blocked, and I'm never gonna unblock them. It's like my ex-husband, where I took a lot of care, to block all the possible IPs and so on, so that this person never finds me. Because I can tell you directly, he promised he would kill me. He promised he would kill me, and I visited many police stations with some recording when he was threatening me, telling me where my body will be found. By the way, good to leave some hints. And so on, and the police were of the opinion, as long as he doesn't hurt you, we cannot really do much here. So of course, if you have such situations that somebody really hates you and somebody is really dangerous and wants to harm you, hurt you, and so on, of course you should block such people. But if it is like your friendships, relationships, people whom you love or who love you, but kind of trigger your, inner child wounding, your generational trauma, trigger something in you that you don't like about yourself, but for some reasons you don't want to heal, or you are not ready to heal, or maybe you should finally heal it. But if those people trigger something like that in you, that they have never hurt you, but it's like pushing you to change, and you don't feel like changing, or if it's just some kind of small minor arguments that you argued with your friends, with your acquaintances, with your family over some shit. Let's face the truth, usually it's shit. Of course, we feel hurt, we feel wounded, because we usually react from the perspective of our wounding, of our traumas and so on, that need to be healed. But when you think it over and you realize it wasn't that serious, stop blocking people. because I know a lot of people who, you know, just have a small argument over some kind of really minor thing. Or I know some people who are like in love with each other or with another person, and then something triggers them, and then they block this person, block their like the whole communication. You know, you can block somebody's phone number, and then they are not able to call you, they are not able to text you, they are not able to WhatsApp you. You block them, and when you block them, trust me, it may happen, you will miss their last call or their last message. I'm not saying that they are going to decide themselves they don't want to stay with us any longer, although it also may happen. And trust me, if this happens, you will feel like a crap till the end of your days in this life. But they may also be ill, or they may also have an accident, and then they will be trying to reach you for this very last time. And when you have blocked them, they will not be able. You will never hear them again. Think how you're gonna feel. And you know, so as I said, I have a few people blocked, but these are only people who are dangerous. And if somebody triggers me, or I'm sometimes angry with people, I just don't answer. I just read quickly the messages. If there is something really important, then maybe I shouldn't overreact like that, and then I can decide if I'm gonna reply or not. But I never block people. And you know, I can tell you personally, there is someone who blocked me, and it hurts like hell. And as I told you, now I'm in another place. I'm not in the place where I normally live. So to come here, I always drive over 800 miles. Okay, so if you live in the States, it's nothing. For us in Europe, over 800 miles, it's quite a lot already, especially with our roads and our cars that are not that comfy as the US cars and highways. And you know, I have a very dangerous road to come here. Those of you who know Germany, like from the internet or from some memes and so on, you think that we have this great highway, the Autobahn, where there are no speed limits, everything is fine and so on. Trust me, the Autobahn sucks. There are quite a few, you know, like wide and comfy highways in Germany where you have no speed limits, but they are only in Western Germany, and there are very few of them, very few parts. When you have to go like me, unfortunately, in the eastern direction, you have to drive through Eastern Germany, and then first during a region in now Western Poland, which is called Lower Silesia, so Niederschlesien, before you reach my region, which is of course it's a great place. You know, it's a very rich and very modern and fantastic place where the highways are in this American style, where people are quite well off and everything is great. But before I reach this region, I drive through a very dangerous place, and I have been using this highway, this Autobahn, for many years, and I have never had a single ride where there were no car accidents where people died. And you know, I am always stuck in traffic jam for long hours. I always drive much longer than I should. It happened to me quite a few times that those accidents happened just in front of me, and I had to react very quickly, not to die myself. And you know, I'm not, as I told you, I'm not scared I'm gonna die, but I don't want to die without telling someone how much I care about them, or without you know, achieving some goals that I still have to achieve. So I'm not this kind of person who is like, okay, I don't give a shit and I can die now. No, I don't really want to die now. I still have quite a few things to do. And you know, I'm not going to be humble in this area. I'm a fucking good driver. I am a good driver. I used to be a driving teacher. I used to be a rally driver as well. I can drive, but other people can't. Other people can't. And every time I go on this ride, I go on this trip to Oberschlesien and back, I always take it into consideration that I may die. I really take it into consideration that I may die, because I've seen such accidents. You cannot even imagine, you know, with dozens of cars, with a lot of people who were hurt or, you know, died. And even during this trip, you know, it was 3 cars in front of me that crashed suddenly, and I had to maneuver very quickly. And I was thinking whether I was going, what was more important, braking and finding some kind of space, or informing people behind me, because I saw those cars, you know, driving right into my trunk. So each of us may die in any moment. So communicate with people and unblock them. As long as they are not dangerous for you, just unblock them. You never know when you're gonna see them for the last time, or you're gonna hear from them for the last time. So have a happy Easter, guys.